Okay, young scholars, thanks for watching this video. I hope that you are ready to get some work done on this day, and obviously, sorry I can't be here with you. I hope that this video is valuable. In it, I am going to break down a few thesis statements, tell you what I like, tell you what I would improve, chat a little bit about evidence, and then a little bit more about structure. So let's get down to it. I have pulled these thesis statements from yesterday's activity. So these are some of your thesis statements, and I hope that you are not offended if I have chosen yours or if I criticize it a little bit. Let's look at it as a learning opportunity. Here are a few possible thesis statements. Number one, Nash proposes four possible scenarios for how the world could look in the future. And in my opinion, I think the most likely scenario would be the wasteland scenario, due to the damage which humans are causing on the environment, as well as the loss of non renewable resources. This is a very solid thesis sentence. Uh, it's simple. We know what prompt this writer is responding to, and we know the direction they are going in. So it is effective in that way. Might not have to mention the four possible scenarios if we have already discussed them extensively in the background of the introduction. But I think, oh, and other thing is we could get rid of the in my opinion. Because you're writing it, it's already your opinion. Don't need to type that up. But we have a solid thesis here. It could be perhaps improved the language a little bit, but I have no big problems. Let's move on. The scenario most likely to occur in the future is wasteland. Again, responding to prompt number two, we know exactly where this writer is going. It is simple, it's to the point, it's effective. In revision, if I were this writer, I would try to up the language a little bit and maybe give a little bit more information about where this essay is going to go, generally hinting at a couple of the reasons why wasteland would be the direction we're headed in. Number three, in response to Nash's island civilization, I see his view on the future unrealistic. He fails to recognize how humans lack the ability to cooperate, lack foresight, and how changing society will have massive issues both practically and on a SoCal social level. Very solid 3 point sentence, very nice thesis here. We know that what we're responding to, although may not be necessary with background. We know the view on his plan, Island Civilization, and we know kind of the three reasons why this author is writing this piece. So again, very solid. Maybe this third reason could be tightened up and refined a little bit, but no huge issues at all. Number four, a quality life is the human goal, and without preservation and an overall ideological shift in the masses, we will not be able to ensure that humans are able to continue happily in life, making it necessary to weigh the impacts actions will have on the future. Here we have a response to prompt number three. I think it is very effective. No major issues. We got a good thesis here. I may include to weigh the impacts our actions or humanity's actions, just to be a little bit more specific and make it respond to the prompt a little bit more directly. But overall, a very solid, I would borderline excellent thesis. And five, the ideas presented in Nash's vision for island civilization aim to increase Earth's sustainability, but are ultimately unattainable because of the sacrifices they require humans to make. Another very solid thesis sentence. This is a response to prompt number one, and it tells how much this writer either agrees with or disagrees with Nash's idea. So I think very effective. All of these could be revised a little bit, but I think that they have answered the prompts effectively. A completely novice writer would know what these pieces of writing are going to be about. And with good background and context before these thesis statements, we would have a very effective intro for each. Evidence. Some tips for selecting and including. So make sure your evidence, pardon me, is relevant. Evidence is really important in a persuasive writing, whether it's a letter or an essay. And a good variety of evidence would make it even stronger and more convincing. Hopefully, you're quoting some lines from Nash. Hopefully, you've gone out and researched and found a little bit of additional evidence. And hopefully, you're also including some of your own personal experiences and observations. That being said, different types. Evidence could be facts, statistics, statements from authorities or experts, and examples, personal stories or observations. Go ahead and read through here a little, but I like a nice variety of evidence for this writing. Again, you should be using some lines or phrases from Island Civilization, the text. You should be researching a little bit um, online and finding some quality sources. For example, if you're writing about prompt number 3, you might have to do a little bit of research about ethics and morals. If you are writing about prompt number 2, you might need to go out and see what other people have said about the future and the direction that we're looking in. Compare Nash's idea to some of the other ideas out there in the world. If you are writing about prompt number 1, how much you agree or disagree, again, you're going to have to do some online research to find out what other people have said, maybe not about Nash's plan, but what have other people said about the environment, about global warming, about rising sea levels? What have people said philosophically about the way that we should live our lives? All of these will be relevant and credible sources of evidence. And again, you should be including some real world personal examples. What have you observed? What have you seen in your life? And very importantly, if you are collecting evidence from any outside source, whether it's a website or a book or a movie or TV show, make sure to cite that evidence properly in text citations and on a works cited page. Counter argument. It is essential in this writing that you explore opposing or some other viewpoints. If you are writing about prompt number 2 and you have said that the garden scenario is most likely to happen, you need to explore that some of the other scenarios, different people might believe that they are going to happen, and they might have some good reasons for believing that those other scenarios might happen. But remember, in your counter argument, you acknowledge that other people might see things differently, and then you are going to rebut those viewpoints. Hey, they have some good points, but here is why I am still more right, or why I still believe my thesis is true. You could do the counter argument and rebuttal in its own section, in its own paragraph or two, or you could interweave the counter argument into each of your body paragraphs. That's really kind of your personal style and choice. Structure, we've covered pretty extensively. Introduction, body paragraphs, including counterargument, and a conclusion. In your intro, you should hook your readers, make it engaging, provide background information. You should introduce the subject. All 3 prompts require you to summarize all or part of Island Civilization and Nash's ideas. Make sure you do give the title of Island Civilization and the author's name, Roderick Nash, and then get to your opinion, including your thesis, a strong thesis that will propel your writing, whether it's a letter or an article. In your body paragraphs, each one should focus on one reason why your thesis is true. Give mucho evidence. What evidence will you be using? Are you including opposing points of view or counter arguments, either in each body paragraph or in a paragraph or two of its own? Um, yeah, that's more counter argument stuff. And in your conclusion, restate your position, give a call for action or agreement. What do you want your readers to do, feel, or think about after they read this? Try to make your conclusion interesting. If you just are simply restating your claims, you're not offering your readers any reason to read the conclusion or nothing to think about, right? And good luck. First draft due Thursday. In class, oh, it says midnight. No, it is due in class digitally. You do not have to print it out. Good luck, young scholars.